as I was saying, I gotta try and remember that accent because I know at some point, like, my regular Irish and Newfie impressions will probably take over. But that is like...
You mean they didn't immediately?
No, because there was a little bit of Swedish in there, I think, too, actually. Bit. Yeah, like,
all right.
I tried to use, like, I tried...
That was just bad accent.
Well, that was the point, right? Like...
Says every bad actor.
Well, no, actually, I don't think a single actor has ever said that. They just think they're great. But, like... So...
It was worse than what I said.
Yeah, I know. But, like...
I know, eh?
I like, wanted a mixture because I wanted, like, a fake accent for the aliens and stuff like that. And somehow that came out where I'm like, I started Irish... And then I started a bit Norway, and then I started putting them together, and then I was like, oh no, it has to be a Canadian accent, eh? And then we got to Swedish, and then it's called, and now I can't really do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I lost it, because you made me fucking explain it, you fucking fake fuck.
I've killed the joke of these shitty fucking accents. Let it die.
Let it die. Let it die. Don't hold it back anymore.
What I was trying to get at the end there, by the way, is neither of you guys suggested just the possibility that one guy got scared, made the other guy scared, and then they just ran with it.
Well,
that
we
is
didn't have to.
That is a whole theory. That is a whole theory in there that it's just mass hysteria.
Yeah,
that's not even.
But
mass
the cops
hysteria.
even said that already.
Yeah, they were trying to break it as well. That one guy who was a skeptic said that, you know, he was only going along with it because the other guy was doing this, or because he felt that because the other guy is his boss, he needs to agree. But again, when they did do the hypnosis on that, both of them said that, like, both the guys that were for this argument did say that there was a very scary experience that happened, and that the one believed it was an extraterrestrial experience, while the other one said a very real, very frightening experience.
Even none of that is contradictory.
But that's what I mean, is that's not the skeptics that were talking, that was the other ones. The skeptics then said
but that
that
evidence fits both
and
arguments.
then Calvin only went with the whole thing because...
God, why did we end the episode already? Like,
I know.
It's
I don't know, maybe that 20-minute tangent?
yeah, fair enough.
But I'm fine with those tangents.
Oh, I love them too, but, like, maybe everyone else is.
I wanted to talk about... So I've been playing The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
All right, and there's one thing specifically I wanted to talk about in this game. So, as you're going through the game, if you've played will be mostly spoiler-free because it's too soon that it came out, and I don't want to be that asshole.
Yeah.
So this is more of a gameplay mechanic stuff. But, so anyway, as you know, if you played the first game, you'll come into encounters with other humans, and you will end up having to sneak around and kill them and stuff like that. So the writers wanted the experience of those encounters in the second one to be as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
So you kill one person, and then they go, "Holy shit, they killed Chloe! We gotta get this bastard!" And they're like, "Oh my god." They're giving them names now? Like, oh my god, why? I don't want to feel bad. Stop naming them.
What, you shouldn't indiscriminately murder people in a video game?
Yeah, like, I'm
sorry.
If you played Undertale, then you'd probably understand that, but
I'm all for Undertale.
What?
I'm all for Undertale.
Have you played it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But we'll get to that in a second. I want to finish this. So, like, you get this thing where the people are getting emotionally upset and want revenge more, and you're like, oh my god, I was not I'm so used to, like, nameless figures. And then there's a point when they start bringing in dogs to sniff you out, okay? So
this isn't like a wild build-up to a Your Mama joke, is it?
No, yeah, Your Mama.
And so then, Your Mama comes around.
So I don't want to kill the dogs because I'm all like, I don't want to kill a dog. I feel bad. So I kill the owner, thinking like,
Did I kill the handler?
He's less cute, so fuck.
So I kill the handler, thinking that, like, the leash would be stuck on the arm and the dog wouldn't chase me or anything. But then, not only does that not happen, the leash comes loose, the dog
is pissed,
gets sad because its owner died right in front of it, and it starts whimpering, patting at the owner, whimpering and crying, and then it'll actually go, like, about 3 meters away from it looking for one of the other members of the group to bring it back to the body, but when it doesn't see it, it goes back
and just sits with the body.
and sits and continues to sit with the body whimpering. And I felt so horrible. I was like, oh my god! Why? I didn't want
because
realism.
You killed the guy.
I didn't want realism. I wanted no reason why these people should live.
Then play Duke Nukem.
What I do love is that you get so emotionally invested in this, and I literally will play video games and be like, yeah.
See, I've never had that moment where I got emotionally invested like that. Undertale aside,
yeah.
But I honestly, I swear though, if you go and play this scene, you're randomly gonna go like, oh my god, this was not what I expected, and this actually fucking hurts.
Yeah.
You will be surprised how much it really wants you to feel bad about what you do.
Sounds like an excellent game.
Yeah, that's actually
sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
There's still Grand Theft Auto for you, don't worry.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, as we keep mentioning about Undertale, You've never played it,
I haven't
right?
played it yet, but I have it. I just haven't got around to it.
Oh, I definitely think you should. It is an experience of a fucking lifetime.
Fucking skeleton.
Which one? There's 3.
Yeah, the one where...
Have you played E.G.?
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
The one where you eventually are basically, you cannot win. Like, you just have to outlast him.
Yeah, the Sans fight, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing about...
I know the basis of Undertale, like I know the deal.
Yeah, but we have an audience.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
This isn't for us.
Fine. This is all for me, I don't care.
Yeah, so, like, the thing... Undertale, well, first off, it's an amazingly great game because it's all based around... It has an artistic style that makes it so interesting and wonderful with a really cool message. The unfortunate part about Undertale is there is an incredibly toxic fandom surrounding it.
Yeah.
Like, if you do not like Undertale for what it is alone and do anything to suggest other things different...
You're an awful human being.
Yeah, like, there was... I once heard a story, it actually could be a different person, but I wouldn't be surprised if this happened, where an artist at a convention made some art of the characters... of one of the characters in the game, and people took offense to how they designed the character and everything.
Yeah.
To the point that someone actually baked them a cookie and gave them the cookie at the convention, and it was filled with needles.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we're talking some really, like...
That's some insane passive aggression gone...
Yeah.
Straight up criminal, really.
There is, like I said, there is a extremely toxic fandom in it. What?
Is it just because it's that evocative?
It's really that influence of a game. Like, it's really that good and really interesting. The unfortunate part is just like...
People respond badly.
Yeah, some people have taken to it a little too strongly. That, like, there's a web series, Game Theories, where the guy, he just does random lore theories based on games. Well, he does also weird science theories that I think are stupid because they ruin aspects of it, and sometimes they don't even make sense. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That's another rant that we'll do in 5 minutes. But he did a really cool lore theory about how the skeleton that we were talking about, Sans, was actually Ness from Earthbound.
Yeah.
Trapped in another world where he died and became a monster. And there was actually a shit ton of evidence to support it in game, and the guy who made the show, Toby Fox, actually had a Earthbound mod he created online, which showed you taking the role of a different character with the Earthbound crew minus Ness.
So it was likely
who had disappeared. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's definitely an influence.
Yeah,
it's 100%. So this theory was just like such an interesting thing. There's copious amounts of evidence. Whether it was real or not, who knows? But the minute the suggestion was there.
People
He got flooded with hate on the video to the point that he had to make a second video to like apologize and say that he was hurt and stuff like he was genuinely crying in that video.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't know. Like there are some ridiculously bad fandoms. Rick and Morty's also really bad.
Yeah, Rick and Morty's terrible for that. Like I love Rick and Morty, but at the same time, I'm also not about to freaking fight people to the death about the fact of death. Oh man, people go nuts about like there's for Rick and Morty. There's like a whole theory that Rick is actually a Morty. And he's just like Morty years later, and he's just recloning.
Future self.
Yeah, but like even the process of like how he keeps saying that he's from C-137, and then meanwhile like they keep jumping to new universes when their old one falls apart. Although they've only proven that's happened twice in the show. I'm sure this probably happened.
I gotta watch the show.
I think they might have actually proven that. It was more than twice. I think at least 3 times.
This guy's
he said there's only so many times you can do it.
Well,
and I saw in the episodes we saw the one with the
mantis.
Yeah, whatever. Cronenberg when he Cronenbergs the whole universe, and then then he jumps to the other universe. But then when they jump again to another one, it's when that squirrel thing happened. And
exactly.
But that's the second time. But they've never assumed, like, you can't prove that they ever assumed another life. The other thing is, people don't people will always point to the fact that Rick has memories of Morty as a baby. Meanwhile, he was supposed to have vanished for 20 years. So, how did he have memories of Morty as a baby when he's vanished for 20 years?
Yeah, there's a bunch of extra theories on that one too.
Yeah.
Which honestly, that's not our show. Well, actually,
completely
this is the bonus episode, so I guess it could be.
That's what ends up happening is like people get super into these theories, and then if you try to tear one of the theories down, they just freaking lose it. Or if somebody puts forward a theory that doesn't match how somebody else perceives or how the general basis is perceived, they get super upset.
This is what we were talking about earlier before the even podcast, where I was trying to explain something, and because you know me, you know I wasn't trying to be offensive.
Yeah.
But people are taking things personally that really aren't.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more worst too, because not only are there the people who are sensitive to theories, there are the people who genuinely think they are Rick.
Yeah.
Well, that's a mental illness at that point.
Yeah, like they think that because they get the show and everything, that they're the only ones who are true fans because they are the right ones.
Ownership of it.
Yeah, and like
any criticisms you have of the show, then they go, you just don't understand it.
Exactly, and then like Rick they kind of almost idolize him because they think they're him. He's the antisocial, intelligent guy who knows everything and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, he's that's the point. So the point, like, there was a whole thing on Facebook at one point that somebody put it forward that this character is not to be emulated. That's the point of him.
Yeah. Like, it's you don't emulate Homer Simpson. You don't emulate Peter Griffin. Like, they're not actually that great.
To be fair, based on like American traditions of how they portray media, you can see how that would be reinforced.
But also Rick is a more relatable character because of some of the things he does. Like, for instance, the suicide helmet when he...
So there's relatable flaws.
Yeah, and that's just it, is his point of existence is that he is so... So, it's hard to explain to somebody who has never seen Rick and Morty, but he's the smartest... He's unarguably the smartest being in the entire universe, and he knows it. And it has him... So, well, there's a whole thing about the drinking too, but he has basically realized it, and then he's realized that he's
alone,
never going to accomplish anything larger because he's already the smartest there is. So in advancing things, he's trying to improve the world, but he also doesn't give a flying fuck about the world.
Yeah, because he's distanced himself from it.
Yeah, you know, I think earlier when we weren't talking, I mentioned that the more intelligent you are, the more knowledge you have, the more depressed you get, because the more you see all the problems and flaws with the world. And he sees and understands the entire universe. In fact, he understands an entire multiverse of dimensions.
Yeah, but again, going back to the conversation we didn't record, it comes from a failure of being able to let go.
But that's just it, is he's so smart that he can't let go.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to lose power.
And that's
kind of,
that's why he's a nihilist.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's,
and he's also like, he doesn't give a shit anymore.
Isn't that the ultimate giving up?
Basically, but that's the whole point of the show too, is that he has slowly found something to care about. In the episode, Rick. Rick, it's not about the fact that he's slowly given into caring about Morty, which it's kind of on the fence of whether he does or doesn't. Like, he does do things that seem to exhibit.
Oh no, he does care about Morty.
Yeah,
because he thinks of it as a flaw.
Yeah, but then
he doesn't like that he cares about Morty.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
For instance, in the third season, I think it's the third. Yeah, third season.
Actually makes sense for someone who denies his humanity. He wouldn't embrace it.
No.
Well, in the third season, he breaks up his daughter's marriage, and so Jerry goes to live in an apartment or whatever. And then he realizes that Morty's depressed about the fact that his dad isn't living there anymore. So then he decides to go do an adventure with Jerry. And the whole thing is that he took Jerry on this adventure to just drink. They were just supposed to have a good time and then pretend that they had done an adventure.
Yeah, okay.
But at the end of the episode, there's this whole thing where he had explained to Beth that that because she's smart, he could just clone her, and the real her could go off and do great things in the universe, and her clone would just remain in her current role until she decides to come back and take over her role. Which then suggests that he did this himself, but
holy shit, this guy's psychotically dissociative.
But then that causes the whole identity thing with with Beth, because then she doesn't know if
instantly replaced.
Well, she doesn't know if she's the she doesn't know if she's the clone.
No, we've already
established that she's not the clone now.
Yeah.
But originally she's having that, and then that's when she goes to Jerry, and that's when you realize that there's this connection that even though they're very dependent on each other, that's the toxicity of their marriage. He loves her for her. He doesn't want anything other than for her to be happy. And so when she's in a life where her dad's trying to push her into, okay, we're gonna do this, but then there's a whole point where Rick shows up when Beth and Jerry are back together, and he basically is there, and he's got a gun, and he's like, I'm just gonna end this with Jerry.
Holy fuck.
And then that's when she tells him that's when Beth's like, no, I love him and I want to be with him, and he hands over the weapon.
So he stops eventually.
I would rather her be happy with what she has. But that shows a whole caring side to her. So he, over the show's course, he's slowly begun to care about this little group of family that he's living with.
Yeah, but his level of power is so insane that he doesn't... There's no enforcement of anything unless he decides to, essentially.
But that's just it, is these are things that he didn't decide. He tried to break the marriage up,
and
then they ended up back together.
The long and short that we were actually trying to get is he's not supposed to be an emulatable character.
No, he sounds like a horrible guy.
Exactly. That's the thing.
That's the point of the show.
Is he is Jesus. Aside from the fact that it is more or less a parody of Back to the Future, but that's another story. But it's like. But yeah, that's why it's such a bothersome thing that there's these people that want to be Rick, or they think they are, but they don't realize that Rick doesn't want to be Rick.
Is this like the immortal curse, where people want to be immortal, not realizing it's a punishment?
One of the
maybe. I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if the comparison is valid.
Philosophically,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I kind of relate it to like One Punch Man, where he has gotten
fair enough.
depressed because
he's
he is invincible.
But he still cares about people.
Yes, but that's just it, is Rick, no matter the situation Rick's in, he knows he can survive it, and he knows he's going to come out at the end.
Yeah, but same with One Punch Man, but he's still empathetic.
Well, to an extent. I actually think he... he shows when people are around, he shows that he's more empathetic and that he cares more about the people near him, like Genos and the reputation of the heroes and stuff like that. Yeah. But in the long run, he's always late. There's lots of collateral damage wherever he goes.
Yeah, because
he doesn't really give a shit.
It's hard to care when everything's easy.
Exactly.
It's why every intelligent person sucks in school.
And again,
or hyper intelligent, really.
And again, that's why Rick is like he doesn't care because it's all too easy.
But the interesting thing about this character is it sounds like he's genuinely invincible. So there's no reason for him to be anything other than evil.
And yet he's not entirely... He's a nihilist, but he's not entirely evil.
Yeah, but not entirely evil is not exactly a winning endorsement of a character you didn't want to emulate.
Yeah, we're not saying he's...
Like, why would anyone
I'm not
think
defending a lot of his things. I'm just saying...
We haven't defended anything.
In this, he does seem to have some
There's
care.
some positive attributes.
Yeah.
Fair game.
And he does... Again, it's that whole... He is depressed and he is down... And he's a nihilist because he realizes that the world is just full of problems, and no matter what he does, he can't fix them. But then he's also always tinkering on something to try and make life easier.
Well, I'm going to make an asshole judgment and say I'm guessing a lot of people emulate with his character because he's depressive, but he has power, and he's still depressive.
But that's the point. Is that
Usually the time, I think these people, though, they see the ego of it rather than the depression.
Well, that's because the ego is causing the depression.
Right. No, I mean with these people,
but
the
they
people
don't
we're
see
talking
that.
about.
I know, but that's kind of the point of this Rick character, it seems.
Exactly.
Yes. But then that's just it, is that these people who emulate Rick or think they
all
are
have
Rick...
ego problems.
Yeah, and that's what just it is. They see the power Rick has and they go, I'm
I want
smart,
that.
I don't care about, I am antisocial, so then I'm just like that. And then it goes back to the whole, if you make any criticisms, like this whole thing that we just said, where he's a nihilist and he doesn't, he has flaws, he's not an emulatable character, they would argue that we just don't understand. We don't understand because we're not him. We don't understand because we can't relate properly to him. But that's just it, is we can relate to him, is just that he is...
We're admitting the problem, really.
Yeah, that conversation we had earlier basically shows that we do relate exactly to what's going on with Rick. Just
don't give up.
Sadly, we will not tell you what that conversation was.
I said we should have recorded
personal.
It was very personal.
It was very personal, and we don't want to go through it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's very true. And I actually am in the midst of writing a play that is actually...
About Rick and Morty?
No. It's to demonstrate this this false idolization. I've actually told Token about it before.
Yeah, J Wes is an incredible playwright.
Well,
he just needs to put it to paper.
In theory.
Well, the stories and characters are genuinely interesting and workable. It's just...
Yeah, we spoke about that other one.
Oh, yeah, which we got to go through that again.
Did you ever find a methodology for that?
Not yet, but but I think I might be working with Ben on that.
Yeah,
okay.
Just so people do know, I do write horror fiction in my spare time a little bit. So
yeah, and I was working on a one-act horror play, and I will not be advertising it because A, we don't want you to know where we live, and B, it's not even remotely done, so we don't know if it's actually going to be put up yet. So
we don't want you guys to steal his ideas.
Yeah, fuck you. My ideas. This is why I'm not telling you exactly about my idea about the negative idol worship play there. Which I'll tell you about that once we're done this as well.
All right.
Secret side conversations.
Well, just to let you guys know, we have very little battery power left over.
So we've run too long.
So little battery power is code for...
Shut the fuck up.
You know what? Don't you just let me have something, okay?
No, I'm saying shut the fuck up.
He's so fun.
No.
This is so sad.
All right. Well,
this is almost as sad as killing that dog's owner.
Oh, dude!
You should have just killed the dog.
I did.
See?
I couldn't deal with the whimpering anymore.
Murder, you're the solution. You are a Rick.
That was even worse than what he said. All right, folks. Have a good night. I think that's bonus episode number 2.
Yeah, that would be bonus
episode
Like
number 2.
triple the length.
Is there anybody even actually
listening
to our bonus episode?